And well, we continue with, we've got Gerhard in studio at the moment. He's Gerhard Botha, CTO of PBT Group. Well, Gerhard, we're talking about big data. Can you define big data for us?
Well, big data is about technologies that allows corporations to analyze data that haven't been able to do so in the past. And it could be various kinds of data. So in the past we had very structured data, databases based on transactional information. But currently we're looking at more unstructured data as well. We look at something like sentiment analysis, Twitter feeds. We're looking at documents, all sort of information coming in. But big data is not only limited to that, it's also to do with the vast volumes of data and the velocity of data that we're getting these days.
So there's so much data out there, with technology even making it even more. So what is so new about big data, and how should hedge fund managers or even asset managers take note of this growing phenomenon?
The big thing about big data is that it is allowing this new collaboration to happen in organizations. So you bring data in from various sources and you bring out a single answer to the organization. So it creates a situation where you've got a symmetry of information. So it means that if you know more about your customers, you know more about your market than your competitor do, then you've got a competitive advantage, and that is what big data will give you.
And you know, looking at big data, what kind of insights do they provide for someone looking to get into investment, or giving them some sort of investment perspective?
If you look at the various kinds of information, if you look at market sentiment, for instance, there will be a lot of noise being created before the market actually moves. So if you analyze the data and you look at historic trends, if you bring it all together, then suddenly you will have insight into your markets. You can see where it's going to go, and you will have a advantage that you can move before the market does. So if you see lots of negative sentiment around China or Greece, then you know maybe it's time to sell, maybe sell short, and you'll make some money.
Indeed, I was about to ask you for a case study on how this big data can be used to the benefit of asset managers or even fund managers.
Well, one of the examples you can use is if you look at where people do their research. If you understand where people go for information, then you can utilize that source and analyze that source, and then try and find patterns in your data. And once you understand what the patterns are, then you can actually use that to actually increase your revenue on your particular hedge fund.
And looking at data and analytics, how does it fit into the bigger picture here?
The data and analytics, it's a growing space. It's creating a new environment, creating new opportunities in understanding your business. So if I look at where companies used to be about 5 years ago and where they are right now, in the past IT used to be, they talk about a different language than business do. But these days, business talk the same language as IT. So everybody's thinking about how to utilize data assets. So you've got various kinds of data assets in your organization that companies realize that they're sitting on. And so we're trying to monetize the data assets. So you need a business cap to understand, how do I marry my business and my business opportunities with my data? And that is the new analytics space where it's coming in, and you need more analysts in business to actually understand data and understand how you can leverage off that to increase your revenue.
So we're going to be seeing more growth coming out of this.
Absolutely.
Indeed. Thank you so much for joining us, Gerhard. That was Gerhard Botha, CTO of PBT Group.